I'm Tim Bradley. Welcome to Capital Reviews, and welcome today to Dr. Tamika Ledbetter, the Commissioner of the Department of Labor and Workforce Development. Welcome, Dr. Ledbetter.
Good afternoon, Tim. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that we are able to have you on the program. Dr. Ledbetter, the agency that you manage is extremely important to the state's economy. I mean, your people are involved in everything from workforce data to occupational health and safety, all sorts of things that are really vital to the business community. But one of the most important things is training and workforce development. And I know that you, in your own career, you've worked a lot in this area. And maybe you just started out. You could just mention a few things that you've done in your past before coming to the department.
Absolutely, Tim. Thank you so much again for that question. I, like many individuals, I took the traditional path. I went from high school straight to a 4-year college, earned a bachelor's degree, and then decided I wanted to serve my country. And I spent time in the United States Air Force during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then that, allowed us to move to Alaska and make Alaska our home. And so when we decided to separate from the military, I had the opportunity to go into a job center, speak to a veterans representative, and the rest is history. I served as an employment specialist for a contract agency that contracted with Department of Public Assistance. And then I got on with the state of Alaska as a job developer, career case manager, and then became a job center manager, and then a regional manager for the Anchorage-Matsu region. And now I have the wonderful privilege of serving as commissioner. So I feel that I embody workforce development and the way our department helps so many people from many backgrounds. And I'm just, I want to make sure that everyone knows what the department does and how we can not only assist with job training, but with funding for that training.
Dr. Ledbetter, your own story is really a great example of the perfect example of how things should work. Tell us a little bit about the department's role in training. I mean, what happens in the job centers? If somebody's looking for some counseling, maybe some help finding a training provider. What happens when they walk in the door?
Well, it's interesting because there's no wrong door with our department, but most people interface with us through the Job Center network. And so when they go into a job center, we have staff members who are able to help any individual, whether it's a youth, ages 14 to 24, or a veteran, or someone who is adult basic ed deficient. The list goes on and on, but they will interface with our staff, and then they will have some career coaching or guidance to first understand what they want to do in relation to the skills that they currently have, or whether or not those skills need to be built up. And when that happens, we have an array of partners that we work with that we can either refer them to, or we can just allow that individual to do some searching as to what is their next step, and then we assist them in supporting it. But ultimately, it's the customer's choice. But we also have our labor market information shop that informs those career decisions so that we can let customers know what is available and what's going to be a viable career for the market that we have here in Alaska.
And as I understand, there are some grants available for people if they need them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have WIOA grants, which is Workforce Information Opportunity Act grants. We have funding that is federal funding. We have state funding, state training and employment program. There's quite a lot of funds. And what we tell people is, rather than focus on the specific type of funds, show up at your local job center or call and let us know how we can help. And then we can direct them the best way that we can.
Well, that's good advice. I guess so much talk these days all around the state about the new federal infrastructure bill and what that's going to do to allow us to rebuild and build a new infrastructure. A lot of concern about whether we're going to have the workers able to do this. What have you heard about this? Is there talk within the agency, within the state about, I mean, you folks are going to be at the front line of this.
Absolutely. I met with my team for 2 days. We've been doing strategic planning sessions, and there's a lot of questions surrounding where are the workers and whether or not we will have a workforce to really be able to support all of what we believe will come with this funding and these opportunities. Tim, I will tell you, I believe our future is bright, and I think we do have the infrastructure in place. Not only do we have the training apparatus in that we have lots of partners that we already are working with, but we're also doing a better job of getting the word out as to what our department does. Many people think that we're only unemployment insurance, but we are so much more. And what we're doing is trying to not only connect with the workforce currently, but those young folks who have been on the sidelines, we're trying to get them into the workforce earlier on, because we know that if we attach a young person to work earlier, they're going to be more successful later on. And then those who just want to do something different, maybe though that grocery worker who, they thought this was the only thing that they could do. We're looking at them to possibly help them determine whether or not they want to change careers. So there's so many options, and I do believe that our department will be at the forefront of helping individuals to make those decisions.
Well, you mentioned career change. There's a term I was trying to think of that is very common, being much talked about these days, called the Great Reassessment. There's a variation of that called the Great Resignation of people leaving jobs. But the Great Reassessment is the idea of people during the pandemic thinking about what they really want to do. And so I think there's a great need for people to have coaching, have people give them advice, to know what's available. And you folks are going to be right in the middle of that.
Absolutely. This is an opportunity for individuals to reimagine what their work will be. And if they want to do something different, the time is now. The worker has a lot of opportunity in this moment. And I would say to them, take full advantage of this opportunity, because the time really is now.
Well, I know right now employers are really scrambling for workers. And so I think your department's in just the right place at the right time. Well, Commissioner, thank you very much for joining us, and look forward to talking with you more about these things.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Good.